The Rock and Kevin Hart are back, and they do it to us again.
Easily the biggest hit comedy of the summer, and I never thought I would say that about a cartoon.
That's right. We're talking about the DC League of Super Pets on this episode of the Finding Good podcast with Kevin and Milton.
All right, well, welcome back to another episode of the Finding Good podcast. This one was a fun one.
Oh, man. So good. I love movies where you go in, you're not really sure what to expect.
Right.
You know, we try to see one movie a week, and sometimes the list of options are just not there. And this one was there, and we're like, well, we might as well see it. It's out there. And we go in here, and holy smokes, it just knocks us over.
Yeah, my bar was low.
Very low.
And I think Obadiah said it best. Obadiah hosts mornings on Project 88.7, and he goes, you know what? I don't want to see a movie about Superman's dog. I want to see a movie about Superman. Show me more Superman. Like, I don't want to see super pets. No.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? You're not wrong. And that's the bar that I went in to see this movie. Is like, I guess I gotta watch something.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to leave. My mouth hurt
From smiling so much?
from smiling so much.
Yeah.
And it's like my gut hurt, probably from the giant bag of popcorn today.
Well, that doesn't help, but it is delicious.
It was so good.
Yeah, it was so good. But why are we surprised? Look at the cast. I mean, you got. I like the way our producer Grady put it. I'm going to say a thing here that no one who's watching this is going to know what I'm talking about. But the Abbott and Costello of our time, which is Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart. I mean, you put those two guys together, and you know you're in for a good time.
Well, this movie was so far off my radar, though. I didn't even realize they were in it. I didn't even know the voice characters. That's how far off I was of wanting to see this movie. And then the first 20 minutes, you just know, wait a minute, I know these voices.
Yeah,
this is the comedy duo of our time.
Exactly.
This movie is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And they delivered again.
Yeah, and on top of that, then you got Keanu Reeves. He's playing Batman in this movie. You have Kate McKinnon from SNL, right? She's the evil guinea pig.
The hamster.
No, it's a guinea pig.
The guinea pig. That's right. That's right. She was irritated because everybody thought she was
get this, a bald guinea pig. That's all you need to know. You're laughing already. I know. And just look at the cat. I mean, it's just over and over these great voice actors, and it all came together. I'm telling you, to me, it was almost perfect.
It really was. I think halfway through the movie, I understood where I was at. I'm like, okay, they're in on this joke too.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm expecting a little bit more, a cartoon, a story about pets. But this was made for adult comic book fans.
Right.
Not that it was crass, but there was certainly some. Okay, that was an adult joke.
Right.
That was an adult. Okay, now I'm in on it now. It took me a minute. And so I wanted to go back and watch it again just so I can experience the whole thing with the same mindset.
Yeah.
I probably missed half of the jokes.
This is the smart thing that some of these animated movies do. I think Pixar has done a good job of this too, which is creating a fun animated movie that little kids will sit and they'll just be enamored by the colors and the story.
Sure.
But then there's stuff in there that every so often the adult goes, what? Oh, what? That was good.
Right, yeah.
You know, and these guys hit it, and I'm not surprised because it's the same guys who did the Batman Lego movie. And that is a great one too.
Which was fantastic.
Oh, so good. And another aspect to the experience that we had going to the movies is we went with our families. I brought my wife. You know, she usually doesn't come to our bro nights out.
It's bro time.
Yeah, and you brought your kids.
Yeah.
And so how was it for them? Did they enjoy the experience?
Oh, they loved it.
Yeah.
But every once in a while I would look over it and they would look at me and we would have this, what are we watching moment? Like, I'm enjoying this way too much. What is this?
Right.
And so we had a lot of laughs during the movie. So much so that I kind of had to shut it down. I'm like, okay, I can't take comedy here and here. Like, let's just focus here. But yeah, we were cracking up afterwards.
Yeah, same with Denise sitting next to me. we just love to laugh together, and any chance we get to do that is a good time. And she was just, she had her moments of laughter. I had my moments of laughter. Of course, there are moments like, I don't get that because I'm not a comic book nerd like you, Milton. Well, so you got to explain a few things, but still, it's great.
And I was going to say, I love your wife, but she is on a different level chill than you are. So we've talked about this before.
For sure.
Speaking of animated, you at the movies you're very animated.
Yeah.
And Denise is just very proper. She just sits there and soaks it in.
Yeah.
But it was fun to see her cut loose a little bit and laugh. I'm like, was that a giggle? I heard that. I heard that, Denise. Settle down.
That's me belly laughing. Her giggle is my belly laugh.
That's right.
My wife is so chill at the movies that she started bringing a blanket.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No joke. And I respect it. I'm not strong enough in my manhood to do that yet, but she does it, and she just flips that thing on and gets cuddled in, and we're in for the ride.
I don't think you realized you made a dad joke there.
Did I really?
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't
realize.
But
but then as you kept talking, I'm like, oh no, that wasn't a joke.
I'll watch it on the rewind.
Yeah, that was awesome. All right, so yes, lots of humor. Lots of funny. What we do try to do on these episodes are we try to find the good. It's called the Find a Good podcast.
Yeah.
We're trying to find something a little bit deeper to talk about as we watch a children's movie.
But it's a cartoon,
made
Kevin.
for adults. Yeah.
Is there anything deep here?
I think we got there.
Okay.
I think we got there.
Yeah.
The whole theme of the movie was Krypto, which is Superman's dog.
Yeah.
Is really experiencing some disconnect with his owner, Superman.
Right.
Who has a girlfriend, Lois Lane.
Yep.
And the dog has started to become a third wheel. As he watches his pal, his buddy pal, who they have grown up and done life together since birth on Krypton?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now this woman is coming in and invading the space and taking away their bond. And so Krypto is dealing with that, and it led to some conversations that you and I had about what this looks like when we allow thoughts, when we allow storytelling to impact our reality.
Yeah, because the truth of the matter is Krypto thought he was being abandoned, thrown away, or replaced, but in truth, that's not what was happening. But because he felt that way, he started believing it. And that then belief led to what the movie became, and you know, the action and the conflict. So this brings up a question to me, which is, are emotions reality? I think we live in a culture that is trying to get us to accept that, yes, how you feel is real.
Right.
But it may not be real to the actual circumstances that are happening around you.
Right.
So then how do we live in that weird dichotomy in that situation where, yeah, I feel like I'm abandoned, I know, or I feel like I'm abandoned, but the people that love me aren't abandoning me, even though I feel like they are, but in their mind they're not. Yeah. So what's real here? Am I abandoned or am I not abandoned? Right? It's
a giant mind trip.
Yeah, I don't have an answer here. I'm just wondering, like, how do we deal with that?
Well, and before we answer that, I think another way to say what you're saying is reality now equals truth. My reality and my experience and my feelings are now truth. And I think that has complicated everything.
Okay.
Because my reality is very much different than your reality. My emotions and experience is very much different than yours. And literally, there are some situations, you put 100 people in the room, we're all going to experience it 100 different ways.
Right.
What's truth? Can truth exist in 100 different forms, or is truth really rooted in truth, and who gets to define that? And so it's this weird space that we find ourselves in, where our emotions and are really driving what in the space. Typically, it's our beliefs, and that then drives our situation.
Right. So last night actually happened where I got a phone call from a young man from my church, and he was really struggling spiritually. And he said to me, I really feel like I'm so far from God. I feel like, and he said, like, so much so that if God came back today, I don't think I would be in heaven. I think I would be lost.
Wow.
Right? So these are the feelings he's fighting. And he's like, I don't know what to do. And I said, okay, well, you believe in what the Bible says, right? Yes. I said, okay, so how does the Bible define salvation? How do you understand that the Bible defines it? And he tells me, the standard answer: if you confess with your mouth that Jesus Christ is Lord and has saved you, and you are saved. And I said, okay, do you believe that? Yes, I believe it. Have you given your life to the Lord? Yes, I have. I says, okay, so then what is the Bible telling you? Okay, the Bible's telling me that I'm saved. It says, okay, so then the truth of it is that you are, but here's the other truth: you don't feel it right now.
Right.
Like you're struggling with that feeling. So the reality between you and God is settled, but now it's the inner battle that you have. And how do we get you through that? And it was a long conversation to talk him through.
Right.
How does he kind of figure that out? So I get it. Like what's happening in here clouds so much what's out here, and I don't know what to do, and I get stuck.
Yep.
And then I make bad decisions because I don't know. I'm all screwed up in my brain.
And now you're living that reality.
Yeah, exactly.
The important part of what you're saying, I believe, is that we need a point of truth. Okay. And we believe that point of truth can be the Bible, can be Scripture. We believe that is something to point towards. Yeah. And so I think at the core of this conversation, that is incredibly important. To see, let's anchor in something that we can all come back to, because so often we start stretching in the world, and the world does not have answers. No. The world has different realities and different truths. So let's find something that we can all agree to anchor to. And once we have that, a great way to attack this that I have found recently is to identify what those lies are. So in Crypto's life, coming back to the cartoon here example, his lie is, I am being replaced. Mm-hmm. I am not loved. I am replaceable, and that's it. And that's now a belief that's defining reality, which is making actions, which is creating exactly what we're thinking about. And so what I have found is a very powerful tool is to find and identify that lie specifically. Okay. And then find that truth. And apply the truth over that lie. Okay. So let me give you an example. Okay. I'm going through a journey right now, and I have found a big lie. One of the many in this process is that I have not believed that I am lovable. Okay. For a number of reasons. And so what I've done is gone back in my past and through this journey of trying to heal from that and discover why. I've done a lot of digging into my childhood and in my past of why do I have this lie that I am unlovable. I am told that I am enough. I am told that I am lovable. I am told that I am created in God's image. So those truths are not overcoming this lie. But that digging really didn't do anything for me. It didn't help my present. All it did was give me a bunch of tangible reasons why I have screwed up enough to make me believe that I am not lovable. It really took finding that truth, those things that I just said, and apply it right onto this lie. And that has helped me move forward, or begin to move forward in my healing journey right now.
Has that been the most powerful tool that you've been able to use in this journey for dealing with those lies?
It has been the one that has stuck.
Okay.
And so there's a bunch of other tools,
Yeah.
but this is the one that sticks.
Yeah.
And I think there's lots of things to do.
Right.
I wouldn't call them busy work.
Yeah.
I would definitely say they are purposeful.
Okay.
Like it's worth going into the journey. But this is the one that sticks because truth trumps everything else. Mm-hmm. It has to. Otherwise, you're just floundering in your lies. And what's the opposite of a lie?
Truth.
A truth.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that is the application that has worked the best.
I can imagine that someone's watching right now thinking like, oh my goodness, I need that tool. I need to exercise that muscle. What's the practical approach that you use to do that? Do you journal? Do you just take time in prayer? Do you have a person you discuss it with? Like how do you go into that journey?
For me, it has had to start with community. So it has to start with openness in a community.
Okay, so you're talking to people.
Of others that can look in me in my face and go, Kevin, you are reciting and believing a lie right now. And for me to go, yeah, you're right. Because usually I don't even recognize it.
Okay.
It is belief for a reason, right? It's my reality for a reason. I am not recognizing that it's a lie. So if I have someone that can pull me out, slap me across the face a little bit,
Yeah.
And get me back to that lie, then I'm able to really take a deep breath and apply that. We're going to put this in the show notes. There's a really cool app out there where you put your name in.
Okay.
So you just put your name and you hit go, and it will apply biblical truth and scriptures by inserting your name.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's awesome. So
I'm a pastor. How come I don't know about this? Why are you holding out on me?
It's a really cool tool, and I've had moments where I've been so deep in the trench, that this has pulled me out. But really, all I'm doing is, this is how I do this for myself when no one's around. Is that I'm getting truth, and I'm slapping it on top of that lie over and over and over and over again.
That's so good.
And pretty soon I feel, you know what? Not only am I lovable, I'm loved.
Yeah.
And it just the cloud's clear.
That's awesome. My version of this is I'm a pastor. So I went to seminary, and there was a generation of pastors that we all kind of graduated at the same time. And in that group of pastors that all of us graduated were some extremely powerful pastors who are doing great ministry. In fact, one of those guys is pastoring, I think, the fastest growing church in our denomination, right?
Oh, wow.
So I'm part of this group of pastors, like we all came out at the same time. And I didn't pursue the normal path of becoming a pastor. I didn't study like biblical religions and all this kind of stuff. I was in the computer science world, and then I jumped into this world, right? Because I felt the calling of God. So I've always had this kind of like imposter syndrome. Like, do I belong here? Like, these guys know Greek and Hebrew backwards and forwards, and I'm barely figuring this thing out.
Right, yeah.
They've been studying theology since they were babies, and I'm just like, do I even belong here, right? So I start my ministry, and I'm in here, and I've always felt like I don't have enough. I don't have enough knowledge. I don't have enough experience. I don't have enough of this and that. And I've always struggled with that. So I've always believed that, and then I decided for some dumb reason to try to get my doctorate. Okay, like why would I do something like that? Well, because I need more. Like I got to catch up to these guys. Probably is one of the things that was behind it, and
it's driving behavior.
Yeah, it's driving my behavior, and I do want to get better. I want to become the best I can be. But some of that is a little bit just like I'm behind, right? So I go into this and start taking classes, and then I figure out I'm supposed to write this dissertation, 20 whatever pages, and I'm just like, whoa, like I've I'd never done anything like this. Right, like even in school, I was just like, huh. So I'll never forget when my professor said, because there's the big chapter that is the daunting chapter in any dissertation. It's called the literature review. It's where you have to read everything related to the topic that you're studying, all the latest research. You have to read it all. And then you have to insert yourself into that world, and you have to pull out, what is relevant to what you're going to do, and then, make it
I'd flunk.
Oh, I almost did, okay? But here's where it turned for me.
Yeah.
Our professor looked at us, our whole class, and he says, understand something. When you do your literature review, you are as much of an expert on the subject as those people who have done those studies. So you don't go in there to learn from them. You go in there to converse with them.
Oh, wow. Huh.
And when he said that, it was like a light bulb went off in my brain. And he was telling me, you have something to contribute, Milton. You have something to give to this conversation. And I was doing it on youth ministry. You have been a youth pastor. You have experience. Put yourself in the conversation at the same level of these scholars who've been studying this for 25, 35, 50 years.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. And that changed everything for me. Now I started seeing myself as, okay, God called me to this, which means I have something to bring to this situation, to this ministry, to this church. And I keep reminding myself of that moment because it was such a pivotal moment in my ministry. And I stopped becoming a poser in my mind, and I started saying like, okay, I'm a pastor who has experience, and I can bring something to the table.
And you're on the journey, just like everybody else.
Exactly.
You just started a little bit later.
Right.
And I think you're a great pastor.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And I think you're a great whatever it is you are.
That's fair. We love this movie. We love talking about a little bit of a deeper theme. I think it was really good.
Yeah. Oh, I want to add one more thing.
Oh, yeah,
to this, just to kind of wrap things up. The whole concept of what do we call it when you act in a certain way because you believe something, and then a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Okay.
Okay, so you think about if you start thinking that you're unlovable, like you says, or you don't have enough, then you start making the decisions in your life that cement that reality for you. And you may start pushing people away. In fact, that's what mostly happens. And then people will start walking away from you because of the way you're treating them, because you feel unlovable. And now you're seeing the proof in their behavior towards you, but that's happening because you yourself started the pushing. And that's why this is so important, because if we don't get a handle of these lies, then what we feel will become the actual thing in our lives, and it will define our circumstances. So that's why if you're dealing with this, I'd encourage you to just attack it aggressively. Get in community, get with some good support, emotional support, and read your word, and get this app that will be in the links, in the comment section below, and just fight it with everything you got. Yeah. Because I think it will make a huge difference.
It might be really good to just ask yourself, what lies am I believing about myself? And spend some time journaling on that and processing that. And like you said, I love that you're encouraging people to be in community and drill deep. And so, grace as you move forward in that. And be kind to yourself as you do that too. It's hard work. So maybe go see this movie to lighten the mood a little bit.
Definitely.
But that's it. This is DC Super Pets, and thank you so much for spending some time. Of course, always we want to encourage you to like and subscribe, and also ring that bell. We've got new episodes coming out weekly. We'll be back with you soon on the Finding Good podcast. Take care.